Hi ladies, welcome back. My name is Sophie with Sophisticated Lashes. If you follow me or subscribe, then you probably haven't seen me in a while, but we're back. We have new audio, video, a new setup, everything, and we're gonna be bringing you next level education. If you don't follow me on Instagram, go ahead and do that. I post constantly every single day on stories, if not reels, and educational information as well. I go so much more into depth and also do Q&As and stuff. So if you have any questions on the content that I'm posting, you can ask them on there, but also comment down below. Today we are talking about, is the lash industry oversaturated? Should we not be getting into it? What is going on? We're gonna go through it all. I have research of some lash artists in my area. We're gonna run through the research and then talk about how it relates to oversaturation in the lash industry and hopefully answer any questions that you have. So let's jump on in. Okay, so like I said, I did research. I did took a survey of 10 lash artists in my immediate area. I am from Charlotte, North Carolina. I did a lot of popular names that come up time and time again for this area, pretty much as far as I know, and people who I thought would have some higher prices to be able to stand and show for out of this research. So I have my research right here. It's down here. I'm going to be looking down just so that I can read you and show you what we got. But I took 10 ladies and the results are very interesting, and stay to the end to see why they're important and what they mean. So the absolute highest average full set average of the 10 was $180. The lowest average full set, absolute lowest of the 10 was $142.50. Then the highest of the 10 for a fill-in was $103.5. So we're barely breaking that barrier of $100. And the lowest average fill-in was $77.50. If we took 180 and divided it by, it takes me probably 3 hours to do a full set. We're only making $60 an hour. And if we took 77.5, my fills are hour and a half, so divided by 1.5, that's $51 an hour. And that may sound okay to you, but for the tedious work that you are doing, it's not okay. For the strategic skill that it takes to apply a tiny little fiber onto an even tinier thing, it's not enough. So I'm going to continue. There's more research here and just show you what it means. So out of the 10 lash artists, only four lash artists have full sets in the 200s, so at or over 200, and only two lash artists out of the 10 had fill-ins that were over $100. So not at $100, but somewhat over $100. Two lash artists out of 10, right? So what does this mean for oversaturation? Is the industry oversaturated? Let me explain something to you. The industry is oversaturated at the bottom, and this is exactly what this research backs. And even though it is a small sample size, I think if we took 20, 30 lash artists in the immediate area or even surrounding area, another state, we would get at or close to the same research that we have here. So only 4 have full sets in the 200s, only 2 had fill-ins, right, over 100. So if your prices are below $200 for a full set, this means directly from this research that you are competing with 60% of lash artists. 60%. So you're competing with over half of the lash artists in this area to get this pull from the same clientele pool, right? But if your full sets are over $200, you are only competing with 40% of lash artists. So that's what we mean when we say it's saturated at the bottom, because down here is that lower 60% that is charging less than $200 for a full set. That's a big percentage, 60%. Then you get that top half, that is only that 40% that you have to compete with, or that you're kind of up against as far as research goes. That top little bit, 40% is way less than 60, and it makes it a greater odds for someone to choose you. But outside of full sets, fill-ins, and I think fill-ins especially, we are undercharging. And it's become sad. This industry needs to step it up a little bit as far as standards go. But for fill-ins, if you charge less than $100, less than $100, you are competing with 80% of lash artists. 80%. Do you know how big of a percentage that is? That's what we mean when we say it's saturated at the bottom, because that bottom, although it's a 80%, that low price range, you're competing with everyone in that price range. And it might not be a direct competition for you, but for your clients, they're weighing out their options. And when you're below and you're in with that 80%, you can easily get lost in the rubble if you don't have, your content, your value, everything like that stepped up. But if your fill-ins are over $100, you are only competing with 20% of lash artists. 20% of lash artists. That's a way easier number to compete and get clients from in the run. If you were all in a pool, the likelihood of you getting clientele is greater when you're competing with just 20% versus 80%. And that's why so many lash artists fizzle out or quit, because you're competing with a lot of people because you never made it past that intermediate phase. So what is it? Where do you go from here now that you know this, right? It doesn't mean you run and you raise your prices and you take it above that, because it's more than just your prices. But your prices at face value will set a predetermined thought for a clientele that's coming in, but you want to make sure your value is also backing that up, because even if you get a client just based off your pricing, if your value doesn't back up that over $100 fill-in, they're not going to stick around. And this is literally why I've completely niched down to helping lash artists raise their prices, and this is what this channel is going to be about and what my full Instagram is about. So if you need more help understanding these numbers, topics, whatever, comment down below. Let's talk about it. Let's chat about it. And if you need help getting on your way, let me help you and let my content help you. So I'm going to put my Instagram handle and everything else down below. This was a quick little video, but it perfectly explains it. So if you are a beginner and you still are at that phase where you're not comfortable charging over $100 or over $200, keep working on your craft and keep investing back into your skills, and focus right now on your retention and your eye styling and build from there. It is a marathon, not a sprint, especially when it comes to running your own business. And you may be out of money for a little bit, but it will pay off if you stick with it in the long run, although it's very hard. So I'm here to be your support. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe down below. And tell me if you have any ideas for what you want to see next. And hopefully I'll see you guys soon.